Hey guys, so first off, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to real quick introduce myself, and then we'll dive kind of right into what the channel's about really, and then kind of what I'm doing today just to get things kicked off and started. So my name is Pete. I live in southern Utah, so I've got 4 true seasons. We'll get into more details of the area I live in terms of how it affects me and my gardening and anything that I do outside for that matter. But overall, the climate has all 4 seasons. So you have obviously, plant and get the appropriate plants, take care of them properly, especially for those colder temperatures. I mean, that's the real one there. So today, just to get things kicked off, I want to real quick touch on what I'm doing today. And again, this is the first episode. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of it. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Obviously, that's what we need. That's what I need. But diving right into it here, I'm planting blueberries today. And so I've already planted one, and then I'm going to plant, I have 5 more to go. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm not going to show you each individual one, of course. That'll take quite some time, but I wanted to real quick touch on just planting in general. I want to show you real quick. This is my planting mix. Okay, this is just good dark earth, as you can see. I mean, this is what you're looking for. And this channel, really, this is all about beginning gardening. I'm not by any means some master gardener. Been doing this my whole life, do it for a profession or anything like that. This is a hobby. This is just something I like to do. And I thought, well, why not share some of the things that I've learned? And by the way, I'm still learning all the time. But share some of the things that I've learned for those of you that are looking to try to start gardening on your own. This is the channel for you. I'm not going to get into some crazy complicated stuff. This is for beginners, gardening for dummies. This is straight up for you all that need to kind of get an idea on how to get things started. Okay, so first things first, you want, when you're planting anything, I don't care if it's a tree, shrub for your landscape, or your garden, and like in this case we're doing blueberries, you want a good organic soil. Okay, now what I've done is this is a mixture of turkey compost and just a generic garden soil that I buy at the nursery. The turkey compost I also buy at the nursery, and my own personal compost, which we'll get into in a later episode on how I do that. So it's got some of that in there as well. There are times when I actually put in some other things, like in the case today, blueberries are acid-loving plants. The soil here is not friendly for blueberries. Where I'm at, it's primarily a clay soil, and it's just not good for that. So what I've done is I've added some sulfur amendment to this as well. That's going to help lower the pH and make it more acidic. So we're going to give it a shot. I've never grown blueberries before. Again, remember, I told you guys, I'm a beginner too. I'm learning things all the time. Got these plants from Stark Brothers. Stark Brothers is great. Okay. Great company to buy plants from. My father, who's a master gardener in Oregon, he likes Stark Brothers. He's actually the one that sent me these because he knew I wanted to do it. So he did. And just to give you an idea, I mean, look at this. Stark Brothers is, if you're looking for an online place to buy stuff, you can't beat this. You really can't. Okay, they come in little pots. I don't know if you can see in there. It's all protected, and down in there is our plant. There it is, nice and green. This came in the mail, everybody. Okay, look how much thought process is put into transporting this blueberry. Okay, I've already planted one. I'm really excited to get the other 5 in the ground. So that's what we're doing. I amended my soil. As you can see, I got everything nice. This is my own like personal mixture of stuff I like to do. I put my sulfur in there to help lower the pH. Basically, it's called aluminum sulfate, and it has no nitrogen, phosphorus, or potassium in it. It's just to lower the pH of the soil. So that being said, I'm going to continue to plant. I'm going to show you real quick the one I did do. Okay, here he is here. And the important thing to notice about this is that not only did I dug a hole, and I'll show you a hole further on in the video, but I dug a hole, quite a big hole. I want this plant to survive, and I want the roots to grow and just go. Now, if I just dug a little teeny hole in this kind of dirt, this hard clay, which is awful to plant in, okay? Those of you that live in clay soil environments, the Southwest, some back east, they do a lot of red clay in the South and back east. But if you're up towards the north, my dad's neck of the woods, Oregon, Northwest area, North New England, you get into a lot better soils. The soils out here are awful. You have to amend them. You have to do this, okay? Add that good dark organic matter to it to give them a chance. So I dug a very large hole. They say to dig one twice as deep and twice as wide as the plant, the root ball of the plant. Okay, that's the rule of thumb, right? So I did more than that. Okay, it's a tiny little plant. I did about 4 times as much. Okay, I want this to survive. So dug my hole, filled it with my organic matter. Okay, all right. Filled it with this stuff. I also mixed in a little bit of the native soil with my compost, if you will, because I wanted it to, it has to adapt to this native soil as well. So you want to mix some of this stuff in with it, okay? We'll get into more on like how much of which to do, different episode probably, but I just wanted to show you real quick, good soil. Got to have that nice dark color. We'll get into that on another episode, but I just wanted to show you blueberries. Got the first one in. I'm going to do the next 5, and then I'll show you a little bit as we go, and then the finished product, of course. So, hey, thanks for watching. Be right back at you, and we'll keep digging and keep planting, okay? Okay, guys, so real quick, we're in the middle of planting here. I wanted to show you one of these and how Stark Brothers is really good. And then by no means are they endorsing this in any way. I'm just more or less saying, hey, this is a great company for online ordering. I show you how they boxed them. They came, very well protected, which makes you feel really good. I mean, that's well money spent if it comes and the plant's thriving. It's green. It's, look at this, okay? They also, not only is it in a pot, but they wrap it up nice so the soil can't get out. As you can see, sorry about the camera. Okay, again, first episode. Bear with me here. But again, real quick, this is not, a bad. I mean, you can get something like this online that your local nursery may not have, and you can't go wrong. I mean, that is amazing. So Stark Brothers, check them out for sure. I've gotten things from them before. They also do they do a wide variety of things. They do bare root trees as well, which are a little bit more difficult to get going. You have to make sure you get those in the ground and as quickly as you can. So there's always those as well, but they have a huge selection. As you can see, this blueberry here, this particular one's called a Duke blueberry. Super stoked. I actually have 6 different varieties. The first one I planted was a Chandler. This one's a Duke, and then I've got 4 others. But and blueberries really are blueberries, but different ones have different things they like in terms of production, when they produce, that kind of thing. And you can do your own research as far as that, But like for example, what I've done is I've got the 6 different varieties that basically like 2 of them. Each 2, like I'll get an early crop, I'll get a midsummer crop, and then I'll get a late summer, early fall type of crop. And so that way they continue to produce during the warmer months instead of all coming at one time and then they're done. So that's kind of what the thought process was there. But again, you do you. I am not by any means saying that what I do is the right way. There are so many different people out there gardening, and you watch all these shows, whether it be YouTube or anything, and there's so many people, and you listen to them, and sometimes I listen to them, and then I'm like, I don't know about that. And then other people I listen to, I'm like, that's super cool. I really dig that. That's a great idea. And then I utilize it, or I'll try it. And I thought, why not do the same thing for myself? Why not start something? I love gardening. I love being outside. And I'm going to introduce you to the rest of my garden later in this episode, just to give you a little rundown. It's not big by any means. It's small. I live in a small subdivision, and I don't have the acreage to make a giant garden. I wish I did, but I don't. So, I do what I can with what I got, and it's good for me. And again, too much is a lot of work. You got to be able to handle it. I mean, if I did this full time, then I'd probably have a giant garden, but I don't. So that being said, I'm going to keep planting. I just want to show you real quick the Stark Brothers, the way they package it, and how nice that is. And again, by no means is this, I'm not a professional. I just like doing this, and I want to share my gardening tips, the things that I do to help you out there that are trying to get into it, and maybe want to learn a few things, just like I've done. And maybe you can take some of my tips and advice and things like that and use it, and hopefully it'll work out for you. But I'm going to keep planting away. I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so all of you guys watching, blueberries are planted. Now we're giving them the first drink. Interesting thing about blueberries, I learned today actually, is they like acidic soils. I didn't learn that today, but what I did learn is that after you amend your soil with that sulfur we talked about earlier, right? One way to keep a clay soil like this from losing that acidity that you now are helping that soil to create with that sulfur is you use about a cup of vinegar per gallon of water. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to make sure. But vinegar in your water, and I don't think it has to be perfect. You just don't want to overdo it. Helps to retain the acidity in a clay soil. This soil here, you have to amend it. You have to get that acidity up for these blueberries or whatever you might be growing, azaleas, things like that. Love acidic soil. You would do the same thing. So, good stuff. We'll keep watering, and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're done. We wrapped it up. So, just a real quick recap of kind of what we did today. And it didn't take very long. These things really don't when you've got the time to do it and just go after it. But you can see I got my blueberries in here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 6 down there. I've got a fruit tree going right here. It's an apple tree, and that tree is eventually going to help provide some shade as well back here. Not that blueberries need it necessarily, but I want to have some. And then again, I'll have another one over here. As you can see, I've got another one there that's going to be replaced soon. It didn't do too well this spring. So But as you can see, I've got my 6 blueberries in, and they are watered. And real quick, I did a vinegar water mix, and that's going to help maintain that acidity. So you can look up the ratios, and it's basically 1 cup, I think, to every gallon, or maybe it's every 2 gallons, but you'll have to look that up and see. So there you go. And then before we go on this first episode ever for gardening and for dummies, I just wanted to show you a quick rundown and quick overview of my personal setup here, which keeps growing. This is just kind of what I've been doing in the last couple of years. And so again, there's my blueberries. Again, I'll have 2 fruit trees here. I've got the one already going. This is basically kind of like, it's going to be a hedge of blueberries right here. So when they get full grown, assuming everything goes well, right, they'll be beautiful, and I can collect blueberries throughout the summer. If you were panning over this direction, that's my blackberry bush coming in nicely. I built a nice trellis for it, and I'm wrapping it up and getting it up. And it's a thornless variety because I hate thorns. I had blackberries in the past. Thorns just, I don't know what to tell you. Thorny blackberries are such a pain to work with and trim back, and so I went with a thornless variety. We're going to see how good that works out. A couple of containers. I'm going to do more container gardening next spring and summer, and I'll touch on that next spring and summer. This here's a cantaloupe here, and I've got a tomato over there. But my strawberry bed and my tomatoes. This is actually going to end up being all strawberries next year. I'm not going to put anything else in the back like I did this year. These strawberries have pretty much taken over, and I'm going to keep it that way. That's how I want it. Over here, I've got carrots, onions, and there's some potatoes back there. I'm going to go into some of these things in more details in future videos, so I will go through all that with you. But I love onions, love carrots. Super easy to grow, really. Potatoes, same thing. You can't go wrong. If you do it right, and it's real simple, you can't go wrong, and they produce quite a bit of food for you too. And then real quick, you can see I do have chickens. I try to sustain myself and my family with as much food as I can right here in their own backyard. So we'll get into them too. I'll talk about them and what I do to maintain them. I call them the girls. And real quick over here, that's my compost pile. Really important, I think, to do a compost pile. Another episode, we'll talk about that. And there are several different people out there you're gonna learn about if you watch their videos or pick up a book or whatever. They'll tell you all kinds of different ways. I've learned some things, picked up tips here and there. This is mine. I do it my way, and it works. Am I doing it right? Yeah, a lot of people will probably argue that I'm not. I do it the way I like to do it. It works. Could I do it better yet, or can I perfect that? Absolutely, I can. So, but yeah, that's something I'm still learning and growing and that kind of thing too. So, hey, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like the video down below. We're gonna do a lot of these. Just getting into gardening. Gardening for dummies, everybody. Okay? Thanks. See ya.